Don't be gay. Listen to what we say. Don't be gay. We're straight. No way. Don't be gay. Queer culture every day. Don't be gay. We're doing it our way.
The rumors are true. I'm a homophobe. We are hot, hotter than a stove. Being queer ain't no other way. Not a phase. We are here to stay.
Don't be gay.
Oh yeah.
Don't be gay. You heard us. Don't be gay. Oh, don't be gay. It's time, yeah. Hello there, everyone, and welcome back to the Don't Be Gay podcast, the hilarious podcast where myself, Sean Banks,
and me, Josh Ham,
two queer, funny, delusional icons talk about everything and break down the queer psyche one topic and one episode at a time. And we are here again at the lovely Lincoln Lodge recording. I feel like we've never given real props to the person that is like really working hard behind the scenes.
Yeah,
our producer. Okay. We said working, not existing. No, but for real, like Christine, our producer, you know, we like she puts in so much work, and y'all can't see her, but she's putting in so much work. So we just want to give like an amazing little mini round of applause to Christine, the producer.
Amazing producer.
If I said some flowers, oh my gosh. But yeah, so thanks.
She's applied us with all the White Claws.
I honestly, you know, I was going to say, like, I hope when we post these on like the TikToks and the Reels and stuff like that, that White Claw sees this
and blocks us.
Oh my gosh. That, you know what, it's fine. Whatever. It is what it is. You know, we're talking about social media today, so, you know, we'll talk about the blockings. But before we get into that, Josh, how have you been?
I've been pretty good. This past week, I did like one show at IO Theater.
How was that?
It was cute. They were like closed for like literally like 2 years because of the pandemic. Mm-hmm. And so like they reopened. It's like really big. I didn't like expect it to be like that big. Okay. It's like 2 floors, I think. And yeah. I've
never been because, as many people will know, I moved here in 2020. So that was around like, of course, COVID, but also like when IO started to close down. So I unfortunately haven't had the opportunity to go there, but I've heard lovely things about it. Mm-hmm. So. Oh, well. But yeah, how'd the show go? Was it like a variety style show?
Yeah, it was like it was a sketch show. Like there was like 7 performers and they had like all these like SNL type of skits. Mm-hmm. And then like I was like the opener for them.
Oh, so, yeah. Work.
I got them ready for disappointment.
It's not the first time you open for somebody. But anyway, so...
it won't be the last.
Oh, okay. Oh, my gosh.
What about you?
It was pretty good. I've been pretty good. I've been somewhat busy with shows, but also just trying to, like, take some time. I feel like at the time we're recording this, you know, it's like the holiday season. It's really cold outside. And so, you know...
Nips on hard.
The seasonal depression is kicking, you know? Like, she's rearing her head again. I actually just found this out. People in Chicago buy the most supply of vitamin D for anybody in the country. Like legit. Like I found that out, and I don't know.
I heard vitamin D, and I thought of something else.
She did. Of course she did.
Like the actual, they just like pop the vitamin.
Yeah, I know. So I forgot what website it was. I don't know. It was like random Googling or whatever, and I found out that it might have been Forbes. I don't know. Whatever. Mm-hmm. But no. So they ranked cities based off of, because you know, like every city has their own different climate or temperature or whatever, and it showed that people in Chicago specifically buy the most amount of vitamin D than any like metropolitan city in the entire United States area, and it's because it gets so cold and cloudy and windy, and a lot of people get sad. You know, they can't go to Giordano's and get their favorite deepest pizza when they want to. So.
Do you take vitamins?
I do take vitamins. Yeah, I take vitamin D3 with K2. And so it's specific.
The old combo.
Yeah, the 2-piece, the rock'em sock'em. But yeah, no. So I take that, and I take a prebiotic as well. You know, I feel like this is the time to be truthful and honest with our viewers.
Yeah.
You know, I am somebody that has struggled with, you know, the 3 worst letters in the alphabet. IBS. And, you know, I've been told that a pre and a probiotic has been really helpful. And honestly, it's changed my life. So.
Yeah, like back in the day when I was like vegan, I was like missing out on like lots of vitamins because like you get most vitamins only from like eating meat pretty much. Like I think like B12 or some shit.
Yeah, B12.
And iron. Mm-hmm. And so like I had like a shit ton of iron and B12 like in my fridge. And it's still there from like 2 years ago because like I stopped being vegan. I was like, okay, I miss chicken.
Wait, when were you vegan?
Literally like 2 years ago, like 2020ish.
How long were you vegan for?
A year. So I think 2019 to 2020. And then after that I was vegetarian for like maybe like 3 months. And then like that's when I like wanted chicken.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, good for you. I was only vegan for 4 months. Didn't last.
Yeah.
And I was a bad vegan
Vegan
too.
or vegetarian?
Well, I was vegetarian for 2 years in high school. And then, long story short, I got sent to the hospital for malnutrition because I wasn't eating. It was very active.
Oh,
so.
Poor baby.
Yeah, I know. It was a rough time. And then I started being vegetarian again, like 2 years before I moved here. So like 2018 to 2020. And then in the 2 years of being vegetarian, I was vegan for 4 months only. And I was a terrible vegan. Oreos and French fries was everything I was having because
Oreos are like accidentally vegan. So.
Legit. But it's just like sugar and whatever else Nestle is doing over there.
No, I agree.
Oh, Nabisco. I'm so sorry.
Yeah. When I was vegan, like Oreos were like my go-to food, like breakfast, lunch, dinner.
Is it right? I mean, okay, wait. Okay, wait. Before we introduce our guests, can I talk about this? Lemon Oreos. What is okay? So my ex got me onto lemon Oreos. I'm gonna ask you about this when we introduce you. But like lemon Oreos, I remember. So my ex got me hooked, like addicted to lemon Oreos, and they lived in Pilsen. That was the only place I could find them. I live in like the Lakeview Boys Town area. Every single Target, Jewel Osco, Mariano's. For I would say 2 or 3 months, never had a lemon Oreo.
Were they like limited or?
No, they're just like a flavor that was very popular.
I've never had them.
Well, you probably never will, because they're like so. It's so hard to find them, and I remember for a while I could only find them at this like little like market in Pilsen where he lived in there. Not lived in the market.
He
but
lived
in
the Oreo section at the Jewel.
And so I remember every time I would go see him, he was like, it was almost like we were doing like, he was like my like drug dealer before Oreos. Like I would see him and like he would give me like 2 packs of lemon Oreos because I would always talk about how like I could never find them anywhere in my neighborhood at all. So I don't know.
I got any more of that good shit?
I know. I was like scratching. I was like, oh my god, you got the lemon, you got the lemon-O's, you got the lemon-O's. I can't. I don't know. But. You know, speaking of things that are like amazing and, you know, really out here, our guest, that segue, honestly.
Oh my God.
Speaking of perfection, our guest.
Exactly. Speaking of things, you know what? Lemon Oreos are very hard to find, but our guests, you can catch them all over. You can catch them performing and producing shows literally all over Chicago. Even here at the lovely Lincoln Lodge, they are here to talk about all things social media. Please give a round of applause for our lovely and our first guest, Ms. Cassidy Kulhanek.
Yes.
I'm giving myself a round of applause.
Yes. No,
also known as Heavenly Grandpa.
Yes, that's me.
Oh my gosh. How are you doing today?
I am great. Also, I have to say, I think that I've never seen the lemon Oreos either, and I'm wondering if it's the kind of thing where like I used to live in Humboldt Park, which is like a very predominantly Puerto Rican neighborhood, and they had different flavors of Pop-Tarts there. Like they had mango Pop-Tarts there, and that was the only place I've ever seen mango Pop-Tarts.
That's so rare.
Yeah, and I'm wondering, and the box was in Spanish. It wasn't it was instead of saying like new flavor, it was like nuevo flavor. And,
were they good? Did you have them?
I did not, because I'm not a fan of mango. So I was like,
really?
Yeah, I know. It's one of my worst flaws.
Blasphemy.
I know. I am not faultless. We're learning it here first.
You know what? It's okay. Everyone is allowed to have their own opinion and their own, you know, their own quirks. You know, we're just quirky people over here at Don't Be Gay LLC.
Yeah. In the first episode, I was like talking about how I don't like chocolate.
I don't like chocolate either.
Right, it's just not that good.
I like a couple.
Christine, cut the cameras.
Like Kit Kats are okay every now and then.
Oh, Kit Kat never, but a Reese's.
Kit Kat never.
Okay, I can get on band with the Reese's.
Yeah, we love
Whoever
Reese's.
came up with the combination of chocolate and peanut butter.
It was literally Reese.
Wait, what do you mean?
The guy, Reese.
Reese's. They're not. It's not Reese's like multiple Reese is. It's like it's owned by Reese. It's Reese apostrophe S.
Cut. No, wait, for real? I never knew this.
When was this?
I thought it was like Reese's. Wait. So what about Reese's Pieces? Like, was that made by?
Those are his pieces.
Those are his pieces of Reese. Oh my god!
Wow. We've uncovered a conspiracy here today.
Yeah. Honestly, okay, sorry.
No, I didn't know that either, though. Like, I'm kind of shook. I didn't know Reese was like a human.
Me neither. Wait, what's his last name? S?
Pieces.
Cups.
Imagine, or it's like Pucks, but then he was like Reese's Cups because Pucks. I don't know, whatever.
Wow,
now I'm just getting crazy. I don't know. Anyways, thank you for being here on our podcast.
Oh my God, I'm so excited.
We're so happy to have you. So before we get into everything, so like let the listeners know, give us like a little bit about you. So you are an amazing comedian. You also do sketch, you do improv, you produce shows. You're everything. So just give us a little bit of background about you.
I don't know what else to say. I have a dog.
Oh yes. Oh my God.
Pop-Tart.
Oh, cute.
Yes. Speaking, going back full circle. Already did it. We already have the callback. Cut there. I also, I do comedy. I do stand-up. I do improv. I do sketch. I run a lot of shows. I help out with a lot of shows. I do like posters for a bunch of shows. I do a bunch of gig posters and things like that. I have basically made every aspect of comedy my life, and I suffer for it. It's fun. It's all enveloping. I don't know what else to say.
No, I remember the first time I met you was when I did the Laugh Yard show right after I moved here, and we have a mutual friend, Mr. Elliot Bromberg. Shout out to Mr. Elliot. And
he's in town this week.
Yes, I know. We're gonna get dinner with me and his girlfriend. I can't wait to meet him. Meet her. Sorry,
I wasn't invited.
Same. I'm just
aren't you? Isn't he on your show?
Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, and so he put us in contact, and I remember the first thing I saw was your Instagram. I love your Instagram name.
Me too.
Heavenly Grandpa. How did you come up with that?
Okay, it's such a silly story, but are you familiar with the game Animal Crossing?
Yeah, I love it.
I love Animal Crossing too, and I was playing it so much during the pandemic, especially those first couple months of the pandemic, right when it came out. And in the Animal Crossing game, you get this little passport, and you can earn different titles, and it's kind of a mix and match thing. Like you earn one word at a time, and at some point, I earned the words Heavenly and Grandpa, and I thought it was super funny to make my title
origin.
in this children's game Heavenly Grandpa, and it just kind of became my social media presence as well. So
I love that.
Yeah,
that's a really good. I remember. I feel like it's so hard to find like a really good Instagram name that like sticks out with people, but also that people like get, even if they like don't really like get it. Like it's still funny. Like I didn't know like the backstory with Animal Crossing, but I just thought it was like a very funny name. I remember my old Instagram name before it is now Banksy, 2 Z's 3 Y's. Follow me.
Plug.
It was Sean_Galliano at first, and like it was one of those things where it was like I thought I was like killing the game. Like I remember because like so I went to school for fashion merchandising. My favorite fashion designer is John Galliano. So I thought, oh, Sean and John, they rhyme. That'll make sense. Everyone was like, "Are you from Italy?"
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Like,
when you first said the Galliano, I'm like, why? Like,
yeah, like, and so I was like, "Oh yeah," because like John Galliano, like Sean and John rhyme, and then everybody would be like, okay, work. Anyways, so
okay,
yeah.
Well, you're getting blocked.
I know, and then immediately it was right before I moved to Chicago. I changed it to Banksy, and it was for a while. I was like, what do I change my Instagram name to? Because I don't know what else to change it to. And then
one of life's biggest dilemmas.
Honestly, why is somebody having that conversation?
Yeah.
One, picking an Instagram name and then changing an Instagram name. So you've always been Heavenly Grandpa.
I was Cassidy Kulhanek for a long time, and then the pandemic struck, and I found Heavenly Grandpa. And like my dad has seen my social media presence, and he was like, "Oh, you're Heavenly Grandpa because both your grandfathers are dead." And I was like, "You know what? That's a great reason."
You're like, sure,
but
yeah,
no.
that's the reason. Oh
my grandfathers died for this.
For Instagram,
the doors they opened.
Yeah.
Josh, has your Instagram always been the?
No. When I first started Instagram, I was like literally like a sophomore in high school, right? And I was like not even into social media. Like I just had like maybe like 3 followers. So cringe. So
wow.
Me not popular, kind of cringe.
All the followers out there listening to this that have 3 followers right now. Josh
no,
like,
all the bots are gonna come for us now. Like they're gonna storm the comments.
Good.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was Josh, and then like 3 H's, and then like an underscore, and then 0713. It was my birthday, July 13.
Oh, okay. I was about to ask.
Yeah, it was stupid. It's a lot of letters, numbers. Okay. So now it's just the Josh Ham. I got that from my favorite drag queen, Gigi Good. The Gigi Good. That's like her name.
Oh, that's where you got it from?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. You.
She's my favorite. Yeah.
Yeah, I do know. I remember you posted a photo not too long ago.
Like literally like 2 days ago was her birthday, and I like posted a picture of us.
So Cassidy,
like when I met her.
Well, one thing before we really get into the topic, one thing you should know about Josh is that they are obsessed with drag.
Okay.
Drag queens,
Perfect.
drag performers, everything. And Roscoe's in like the North Hollywood area. Yeah. So they have like a lot of like drag racing parties. So the girls on RuPaul's Drag Race will come there. Josh has a set spot where he goes and will like stalk the girls.
So it's like stage right. I like know the exact tactics and the blueprints of like the map. So you go stage right, because that's like the exit, and like they like come through the exit from outside in the alley to like get on the stage. And so I'm just like waiting like by the door for them to like come out for like the performance.
Ooh, so you just like pop out and scare them?
Yeah, pretty much. I like grab their wig, just rip that shit off.
And they're like, you were robbed. And like
you should have went home first.
And there was like one photo where him and like Gigi, who was a contestant on the 12th season of Drag Race, and like your eyes are cold.
They're bulged,
like, bulging out of
the sockets were like gonna come out.
I love that. I love
that. I was just I didn't do drugs. I swear it looks really druggy, like my face.
I drink a good drag show is as euphoric as many drugs.
Right.
So. Honestly,
especially if like your favorite queen is there. It's like whoa. Yeah, so like in that moment, like when my eyes were bulging out when I met Gigi, she actually stole something from me, like literally.
Wait,
but I kind of blocked out of my memory because like I think she's perfect and
was
like
it your heart or
that, and also I had like this little Gigi Good air freshener, right?
Oh yeah.
That I brought, and I'm like, can you sign it? And like she like grabs it and she's like, don't you want it? And I was like, yeah. And she like walks out the exit and she like just takes it. And so I was like, bitch, I want you to sign it. Like, why would I be giving you like your own merch? Like what? It's like she's stupid. Gigi, I hope you're watching, you dumb bitch.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
We are just beginning our journey at Don't Be Gay LLC, and you're already trying to make enemies in the pod.
I was so upset though. I'm like, I really wanted to like,
leave her alone. Well, comment below, Gigi, if you've seen this, and Josh is clearly still upset about what you stole from him. But speaking of comments,
it's funny because I don't even have a car. So like, why'd I have the air freshener? It was like a car air freshener.
You can stink without a car.
Yeah. Oh, I know.
Bars. Bars.
I have experience.
See, this is why you have a really good Twitter. Oh my gosh. And speaking of, so this is the social media episode, and I think so. I don't have a Twitter. We've had conversations about this before. I still haven't made one. I'm so afraid of Twitter. So let's talk about it. Okay, so I'm like a big like Instagram person. I'm still learning like TikTok and stuff. But like you're really active on Twitter. So like I don't know. So first of all, before we get into that, what's everyone's favorite social media app to use in general?
Spotify. I'm kidding.
Is that really social media?
No. But like the Spotify rap was like just a thing that everyone posted. So yeah. But Instagram for sure.
I was gonna say I feel like it depends on what I'm using it for. Because like if you're just asking like what my favorite in general is, what I would spend the most time on, then it's Twitter.
Okay.
But like Twitter is not the best for like promoting shows and stuff like that. Instagram is a lot better for things like that. And so it really depends on like the utility that we're discussing when I say favorite. But Twitter is like my home.
I feel that.
Yeah.
Okay. Is that so? Wait, so you had Instagram first and then started mainly on Twitter, or like how did it?
Yeah. So I started my Twitter in 2012, but I didn't tweet until 2019.
Really?
Yeah.
So you just like were you like just like on Twitter like reading everybody else's tweets?
No, I like
that,
created an account and I tweeted like 2 or 3 times when I was like it was 2012, so I was like a freshman or sophomore in college, and I like blasted off a handful of very stupid tweets, and then I just left it alone for 7 years and just forgot about it. And then one day when I started doing comedy in 2019, and whenever I was starting to do comedy, someone told me, they were like, hey, like you're good at comedy, you should have an online presence because it'll help you. And I was like, oh, I have Instagram. And they're like, no, like comedians need to use Twitter. That's how like comedy communities across the country like interact. connect and stuff. And so I started tweeting more in 2019, and I had like 30 followers at the beginning of 2019.
Cringe.
And I know, it was so embarrassing.
Dragging. Now, first it was 3
Full
people, now it was
circle.
people with 30 followers. Like,
And it was like all people that I went to high school with and stuff like that. And so it was not like, it wasn't
Like
it was
it wasn't like your audience that you wanted, like,
right.
for
And it was
comedy.
lofty for me to imagine that Twitter would become something that like benefited my career in any way. But I was like, okay, well, I can just like throw jokes here to the ether, and then they just exist. And eventually they like kind of started to catch steam and stuff like that. And so yeah.
like Twitter is like a really good place to like network with a lot of comedians, because you've met like a lot of comedians through Twitter.
Yeah, I've met
correct?
some of my
Like
best
who?
friends, and there are a lot of friends that I have in New York and in Los Angeles that I wouldn't know without Twitter.
Yeah.
And some of my like favorite people who are doing comedy right now, like I feel very lucky to be able to call like Niles Abston one of my friends.
Oh,
and, like,
so funny.
and we have friends in New York, like my friend Tony Ferraro, who does a sketch in New York with 24 Hour Kiss Club, and my friend Yamini Nambimadam in Los Angeles, and she's
Gorgeous.
like a phenomenal comedian out there. And it's so great to have those connections, not just because like I've been able to build like really lovely friendships with these people, but because like whenever they come to Chicago, I can help them get stage time, and whenever I go to New York or Los Angeles, I can work with them on projects, and like they can help me find shows and stuff. So it's really great for building community, I think Twitter can be. And
yeah, because like without social media, like you wouldn't even like know them, so it's like
Yeah,
kinda cool
exactly.
that like
Yeah.
helps for sure.
it's really the most like the most communicable of the social media networks to me, in terms of like how you can meet new people and network with them, and like it's all text based, so you're having real conversations and stuff like that, and it's nice. And you just get like thrown into group chats sometimes with people. Like group chats are a huge part of Twitter, and like you just kind of get thrown into those, and that's how you meet like different comedians and stuff. And I don't know,
Isn't
it's
there
fun.
like a Twitter circle or something? I don't have Twitter, so like I don't know, but I heard of that.
Yeah, Twitter circles exist. That's like it's like your close friends on Instagram, kind of,
okay.
where like if you have a Twitter circle and you post to your circle, like only specific followers of yours can see it if you select
Ooh.
them. So
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Exclusive.
yeah.
The exclusivity.
Yeah.
Nice.
Oh God, yeah. And so I feel like, especially with like any kind of like content creation, there's always like the next level that you can take it. And so I feel like for instance, like the two of us are like, we do not have Twitter, and so a lot of times I feel like we look for alternative routes. So like I kind of, oh God, I'm dating myself now.
Oh,
I use a lot of Facebook, and it's really only for comedy. It's like a good place to like post about shows. That's honestly, when I first moved to Chicago, that's how I found out about like open mics, and that's how I found out about like a lot of different
Yeah,
things.
because like here at the lovely Lincoln Lodge, they post
They do.
they
Yes.
post all their open mics and stuff. so
Talk
that is
about a
helpful.
throwback. I
Yeah.
remember in the beginning of the pandemic, no open mics were happening. So you used to have to sign up through a Facebook Google Doc to sign up for the Lincoln Lodge open
Yeah.
mics, and for like a lot of different open mics. And
That's what I did
then-
for Comedy Bar. Like that was like my first place I consistently performed at, like for open mics when I first started, like maybe like a year ago.
Oh my
and
God,
a
I
half.
remember the Comedy Bar
Yeah.
online sign up and
It
having
was-
to,
yeah.
like
You have to like be on it.
I was like, I would
Yeah.
set an alarm for 11:45 p.m. and I
Oh,
would
God.
like
Yeah.
sit there at my laptop for 15 minutes, and I would have a little clock on I would like have a screen that was just a second clock
Yeah.
countdown timer, and the second that the clock hit midnight, I would be refreshing that Comedy Bar page
Yeah.
so that I could get on that list.
Yeah, I had like a little hack. Like let's say like they have like the thing on Monday, like they post like the open mic sign up. Let's say like I'm not doing it on a Monday, I'm doing it on Tuesday. I like save that Monday page, and then I refresh it like when it like becomes Tuesday, and like it
Oh,
goes
yeah.
to Tuesday. So like that was like a cheat because like no one really did that except for me.
Oh,
And so like this,
sneaky.
yeah, the same sheet would be like the whole week, but they would like just change like Monday, Tuesday.
Sneaky.
Yeah, I would
finding
perform like
workarounds.
4 days a week there, like just for
Wow.
that. Yeah.
Well, I remember there was one point. So I was an intern. That's how I kind of got started meeting people and stuff in comedy, like in 2021. So I was an intern at the Comedy Bar. Internship was great, allowed me to network. But I remember there was one point where they had to stop doing the online like waiting till midnight thing because it got hacked. near the end.
That was me.
Yeah, it was exactly. It was like little things like that were happening. So it got hacked, and so they had to stop. So then they started posting it randomly throughout the days. So I remember that. So they had like the midnight, and then they started posting it just like randomly. So it was kind of like a first come first serve, and then now they didn't do that, of course. But yeah, I remember seeing people come there, and like luckily I was an intern, so like a lot of times I could just like ask. I was like, "If you can just get on the open, please."
I didn't even ask. I would just like literally go up on stage.
you just storm
I would
it.
take the mic from the host and be like, "Okay, my turn."
The comedy bar is Josh's personal January 6th.
I was going to say, yeah, you would just storm, yeah, freedom of speech, right? Do what you want to do.
Yeah, literally.
Incredible.
Oh my gosh! But so speaking of storming things, so if I'm not wrong, you were featured on Bustle, correct?
Oh my God, I don't know. Was I? I had no idea.
Okay, wait. I was about to ask you because I remember I saw that because I followed them on Instagram and I was like, wait, sorry.
Oh yeah, they've posted some of my tweets. Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Okay, so you didn't know that they were gonna do that?
No.
So cool.
That's one of the things about Twitter that's like it's kind of fun but also kind of terrifying is that if you're posting publicly, people if a tweet just resonates with them and you have no idea what will and what won't, but if a tweet resonates with someone, they will just like take it and then post it on every other social media and they'll leave your name and face on it and it's like my dad has sent me screenshots of like his friends sharing tweets on Facebook and he'll be like, "Is this you?" And Bustle shared one of my tweets. I didn't remember which one it was.
I don't remember either.
I think it might have been the one about being a Renaissance woman. It was like, I'm a Renaissance woman and that I'm nude laying down and I have a chubby little tummy. I think that was the one. But
how does that feel to kind of just like put your, and in a way like your, I guess, art and like how you're feeling, your thoughts, your ideas into the world and just being like, oh my gosh, like they think this is funny and then like it just kind of being put out there on such a platform. Like how does that feel?
Oh my God. It's not always that they think it's funny. I'll tell you that. Sometimes I've gone viral for good reasons and for bad reasons.
Yeah,
and
like hate comments type of shit.
Oh yeah. I had this one tweet that is one of my most viral tweets ever and it wasn't a joke or anything. It was just that it was just me being very sad during my job search that I was doing a couple years ago and I remember saying I've applied to, I think at that point I was applying to like my 400th job or something and I was like, and I have not, I was like, my biggest regret in life is getting a master's degree. And it went so viral. It went so viral that I got like interviewed by Newsweek about it. And like it became this whole thing where it was like ex-grad student regrets her degree, goes viral on Twitter. And then it was like a big study about like the jobs declining in the US and stuff and how like nobody was hiring people with advanced degrees and things like that.
And you didn't think any of that was going to happen. You're just like literally just saying your mind.
I was literally just sad. I was like, I'm just going to be sad on the internet for a minute.
Just let me be.
All the replies to it were like, fuck you, like you shouldn't have gotten like you got a stupid master's, this is your fault, like you're the one that got this degree, like you have to live with your mistakes and and it was like, oh my God, I didn't say I deserved anything. I'm just saying that I've applied to 400 jobs.
You're literally just in your feelings like,
like that's so weird because like we all can relate to just like being so tired of just like applying and just it's so hard to find a job and it's like exhausting to have to keep interviewing and selling yourself and stuff like that. So that seems so odd that people would take that such out of
like literally like after I quit Starbucks, like I applied to so many jobs and I didn't hear back for like maybe 3 months and so I was jobless for 3 months. I had Uber Eats, so that was pretty fun.
Wait, you
I did Uber Eats, for the summer. It was nice out, so I was like, why not?
You biked? Because
there's a walking.
You walked and took people's food?
Oh my God.
Yeah.
If I had someone deliver my Uber Eats by walking, I would feel so bad.
That's what I'm saying. I was like, that just seems
they always hit me a lot for that reason.
I would be like, you could literally walk this. I could have literally walked.
That's what I was saying. Like I was like, oh, I don't want to take car. I was like, no, I just walked
like,
here. I was
like,
like, what? No.
All like the orders are like from like what is it, hotels downtown, and it's like a 2-minute walk from the restaurant. So I'm like, you could literally just go down the stairs on the elevator and just get it. And so I was getting like good money from it too. So
I mean, honestly, nice. I would leave a better tip if I know that the person who walked there to give you my food.
That's an embarrassment tip. That's I'm tipping you this much so that you don't tell somebody that you
tip. It's like, oh, I'm so sorry. Do you want some water? It was probably like, especially if it was in the summertime. Like, do you want some water?
Like, coming up some tea.
Right, exactly. Like, actually, you ordered the drink, but actually, you can keep the drink. You probably need it more than I do. I'm at home with air conditioning. Like, oh my gosh, I was going to say, so I know you and I both have had like moments as well as like going viral and then not being like negative and going negative, and like that is not fun.
No.
That's happened to me twice.
Yeah. What were yours?
So the first time, when I moved here, I used to be like a freelance writer for a Chicago film blog, but also I used to like write on Medium, and so I was like working with like smaller blogs, and I remember I wrote. It was like an article talking about how like being like Black and queer is not fun going to like Pride festivals because it feels a lot of exclusionary because a lot of like Pride festivals are like dominated by like white cis men that are gay. Mm-hmm. And I remember like writing about it and just essentially just like sharing my experience as like being like a person of color at queer events and like kind of like feeling like not like when you're like, we've talked about this before, but like I feel like a lot of times like when you're like Black and queer, like you're kind of stereotyped to be like either the most like the femme queen at like the ball voguing, doing drag, etc., or you're like the
Tens
dom
across the board.
Exactly, or you're like the dom daddy, and like I was talking about how like I'm not neither really that, kind of in the middle, etc. And like so many people like hated it. They were just like, oh my god, the internalized homophobia is coming out, and like you hate gay people. And I was like, I'm not saying I hate gay people. I'm just saying that like this is like my experience, and I'm not, and I was not bashing like anyone. I was just saying like, you know, it's kind of hard for me to navigate like. You're just like literally just explaining. I'm not like experience. A fit. I'm not. I'm also. It's more like an aesthetic thing. It had to do with my race, but it's more like aesthetic because I'm not like a fit muscle gay that wants to go out in like a Speedo and like a rainbow flag, and I was more So that was one, and so and I remember I had to get like interviewed by Medium through the podcast network about like, so this kind of went off. Like this was kind of like a lot of people commented on this, had a lot to say. How did that feel about you? And I was kind of like, I did not expect this. Like it was just like something I was asked to write about. It was 2020, Pride was canceled, and I was like reflecting on Pride experiences. So I did not expect that. And then the second was when I started doing TikTok. The first video I posted on TikTok was a stand-up comedy clip of me at the Laugh Factory, and I have like a joke where I was like, if you can't tell by my voice, I do date men that are white, like etc.
Oh wait, I think I've seen that one on Instagram, right?
I posted it on our Instagram, and like it did fine on Instagram, and that posted on TikTok. Oh, I think in 2 days it had like 25,000 views. Oh my god. And so like the first week everyone was like, oh, it's so funny, this is so great. And then like for another whole week later it was people dragging me saying like people stitching the video being like not the black gays who only date white guys or not the self-hatred of like black men and etc. And I was like, oh my gosh. And that was my first TikTok video.
What a good first experience. What a welcome to the
it was, and that's kind of why I was saying before, I was like, I'm still getting used to TikTok because my first thing, I did not expect this video to go viral and people to stitch it and stuff, and so yeah, that didn't feel good, and so it made me realize people have a lot of courage when they have a keyboard and a screen. So and it's also people that like they would never say that stuff to you in person. So I also, and like my boyfriend at the time, like he told me, he was just like, they're not going to say this to you in person because they also wouldn't do this in person. Like what you're doing.
Yeah, and they look so deep into it, like what you just said, like what they were saying. Like,
right. And it's all, and like also, it was an 8-minute set that I did at the Laugh Factory.
And that was like literally
a 30-second clip. And so they're like, of course, everything is taken out of context when there is no context. And so I always had to remember that because I remember feeling really bad about myself. And I was like, oh. So
yeah, people on the internet are very good at making you feel the worst things that you can feel.
Yeah, it's so weird. It's annoying. They look like deep into like what the post is, and it's like it's not that deep.
It's
when
like
I posted
everyone
it.
on the internet is like, in middle school. Like they lack empathy, and they are just like very able to fine tune, like pinpoint exactly what you don't want to hear.
For a second, it's just like put your phone down and just relax.
And like they're mad at you for having an opinion, but they feel free to say their negative opinion. Like we all can say what we want on social media, and it's like, okay, well, we're just stating our experiences and our stories. But then like they can feel the need to share their opinion that is mostly negative and an opinion that's not really based off of a story, it's just based off of an emotion. So I don't know. I always tell people, it's just like, if you don't like somebody, you don't have to look at them. You don't have to follow them. You don't have to say anything. You could just be like,
you don't have to look at them.
You could just scroll and be like, that wasn't that funny. Keep scrolling. Keep it to yourself. It's not that big of a deal. Oh my gosh. And it's even harder now because I mean this might be like older by the time this comes out, but like Elon Musk on Twitter. I'm so sorry.
Oh, you mean Daddy?
Oh, God.
You mean my daddy? That's my daddy.
Daddy
Love
chill.
him.
Daddy chill.
Daddy more bucks.
Daddy more
Love him
bucks.
so much.
Oh, my gosh.
Let's talk about him. Let's talk about my dad.
Oh, God, yeah. Like the dad that keeps on giving and taking.
Heavenly Father.
That's true. That's true.
Heavenly Father, Son, and the Holy Ghost. Yeah, so, I mean... okay, I have a lot of
Takes
it. I know, right? I was like, I have to take a sip on that. So, the amount of money that this man, I mean, Elon Musk, I never liked him from the beginning. I remember my first, like...
Okay, controversial take.
Oh, I know. Unpopular opinion. Oh, my God. Unpopular opinion. Elon Musk is just... I don't really care for him. The amount of money that man not only has but also spends on the most lucrative, outlandish things is wild. He bought it for $44 million, correct?
44 billion, baby.
Billion.
Oh
I
my
am
gosh.
so sorry. See, I'm getting canceled on Twitter
And
too.
like,
I don't even
for
have a Twitter,
what?
and they're gonna come for me.
It's so stupid.
And just like so many things have spiraled since him buying Twitter. Did you saw that the N-word was trending? I would say the
God.
week after he bought Twitter.
I did not see that, but
Me
I
neither.
believe it. I have honestly used Twitter the least since he purchased it.
Yep.
That I have, like, since 2019. Like, I was using Twitter for like hours every day before Elon Musk bought it, and Elon Musk bought it, and there has been such an immediately visible difference in the app and like the people on it, and I have not been going on it. I literally just like, if I have a thought that I think is funny, I send it out into the little tweet ether and I turn it off now. I don't even really look at it that much anymore, which bums me out because it was something that meant a lot to me and that I like really cared about. But yeah, he has impressively fucked up the whole situation.
So like, I don't get it.
It's
So
just
like,
like-
he's not monitoring like enough because like people are just like getting away with saying like a lot of like bad things now that he has it.
Well, more people feel emboldened to come out and say what they want to say, similar to like when Trump got into office. A lot of people felt more emboldened to go into the street and say all like the terrible homophobic, racist, misogynistic, the list goes on and on type of shit. So the fact that Elon Musk has essentially bought, I would probably say, the most popular social media kind of like connective app is kind of emboldened a lot of people.
Yeah.
Like I was saying, like the N-word going viral.
Yeah, I read like an article literally last week, and like hate speech against black people, gay people, and women like went way up on Twitter. So
Well, because they're like, oh, well, he owns it now, so we can kind of do whatever we want.
Yeah.
You know, that's kind of like if that's kind of like if you're like a child and like your mom buys you something, it's like, well, okay, well, I mean, she gave it to me and I can do it now, so I can do whatever I want to do with it. I can whatever, you know what I mean? So it's like that kind of situation, and I mean, yeah, it's just
good point.
yeah, really
You know.
making. Yeah, so.
I love how insane the sequence of events is that like led to him purchasing Twitter. And it's like a few months ago he tweeted like a vaguely transphobic opinion or something, and then his wife left him, and then now Grimes and Chelsea Manning are together, and
It's like,
because that news happened, and then like literally the week that news came out was when he was like, fuck it, I'm buying Twitter. And
Yeah.
like
Elon Musk with
So
Grimes is such a
petty.
weird couple though. Like, right? It's
yeah, I
really
mean,
weird.
yes.
Like, isn't like the age gap big? Like, I feel.
I feel like that's not the weirdest part of
Well,
it.
yeah, just in general. There's so many weird parts
Yeah.
about it.
Like
yeah.
this is like the literal like personification of too much time, too much money.
Yes.
Like there are so many different ways that, I mean, if he was a reasonable person, he could have used that money for plenty of other things that could have helped the world. But then he
Yeah.
instead he wanted to do this. And then I just feel like in general, he's just not someone that I think of having like a really good Twitter, like just taking like all of that. Like I remember he like when he hosted SNL, him having a Twitter beef with the cast members of
Yeah.
SNL.
Did he? I had no idea.
Yeah, because he tweeted about him hosting SNL, and then like a lot of people on Twitter were like, okay, we're not gonna watch that, and then he was like, well, they're lucky to have me, etc. And then he tweeted something about it. He was like, remember, I'm hosting SNL. You guys better watch it. And then like Bowen Yang retweeted and was like, they know. And then like he said something along the lines of like, oh, you weren't even the funniest one, et cetera, et cetera. And so he's like, not you Twitter beefing with it. Like it was just like a mess of a person.
Pretty childish.
He's like
Yeah.
the King Midas of turning everything he touches into just like a bag of flaming dicks. Like he's the worst. Everything he touches is turned to garbage immediately, and all of his projects fail magnificently. And I think that's the most fun thing about Elon Musk is watching him fail upwards constantly. Because even though he's going upwards, it's always on a path of failure.
It is.
And I mean, if we have to live with this reality where the richest man in the world is like an insufferable prick billionaire, like at least he's hilariously taking L's the whole time that he's doing it.
Yeah. So now that you don't use like Twitter as much, like do you think you're like gonna like switch to like Instagram maybe?
Yeah, I've been trying to focus on Instagram more. I've always struggled with Instagram because I'm not a person who really like now Instagram is more of a video based medium, so that's even harder for me because I've
reels,
not Instagram Reels have like really kind of taken over the Instagram algorithm, and it's never been my forte to make video content, so that's a struggle that I have right now. But also like I have generally like always struggled with my appearance and not liking the way that I look and stuff, and since it's always been a visual medium, it's always been kind of hard for me to get past that barrier of entry where like I feel very weird posting photos of myself, and I feel kind of like even weirder posting photos of other people because it's like I don't know. It's like people are looking at my Instagram page. Why are they seeing like 1,000 other people?
Yeah, I can so relate to that actually.
Yeah, and it's like it's like such a minefield of emotional things for me to navigate to try and get into this mindset of Instagram. But I am trying, and I think it'll be a struggle, but I will persist. Yeah,
my Instagram journey kind of started like when the pandemic started, pretty much. I got like super into fashion because of Gigi Good, literally like because actually she like inspired my fashion. I feel like before I didn't think like you could like wear things and like it's a way of expression, but like it's literally like your personality, and it's like just a form of like an outlet to express that. And like I guess she like showed me that, and so I guess like I did like a lot of like photo shoots with like really eccentric outfits on Instagram like 2020 until like last year maybe.
I remember.
Yeah,
I remember.
Like lots of like weird outfits. I actually did this one before, like last year.
It's a really nice outfit.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, I mean, I very much relate to you on that. I feel like that's also kind of what, and like, I feel like social media has like a way of turning your self-image on you because you see what other people are doing, and it makes it kind of seem somewhat easier, especially with influencers and like social media famous type people, if they want to call themselves influencers, content creators, etc. And so it almost feels like, especially us being, comedians, creators, people that want to be in entertainment, there's almost like a level of like aesthetic that we feel like we put on ourselves to put on. Like Josh, you were saying about like posting centric outfits, and like especially with Instagram, like it is a visually based one, so it feels like you almost feel like, I mean, I don't know if you can relate to this, but I feel like a lot of times I have to tell myself I need to look better so that like I do better on social media.
Yes, absolutely, all the time. And I really make a big part of my performance identity the way that I look and the way that I dress.
Like,
and
the fashion definitely helps. Like the personality, like on stage, I feel.
Yeah, I feel like it really boosts my confidence. But it's not just the confidence boost that I get from it that motivates me to do it. It's also the like I have to visually stand out. And if there are photos of me doing comedy in outfits that are like outlandish or like more fashionable than like what generally people are wearing on stage, like so many people I'm so envious of because they can just get on stage in clothes that they're comfortable in, and I love that. I wish that could be me, but I feel like the whole time I'm performing, when I'm dressed comfortably, I'm freaking out and I do not feel at ease.
If I'm not wearing an outfit that I don't feel like is like popping, then I feel like I can't do like open mic that night. Like I gotta go back home and change or something.
Yeah, and I've made that such a part of my identity now, and it's just like it's so hard to escape those thought cycles because it is constantly me saying like I need to look better in case there's a camera around. I can't just like be who I am and look the way that I look. Like I need to have a face full of makeup if I think there's going to be a camera somewhere, or I think that like I might want a clip of my set that night or something like that. Like I have to look the part. And it's all because social media has like trained me to think that way.
Pretty much same.
Well, if it's in the constellation, I feel like every time I see you, you're always turning a look. So
well, that's very
like even
kind.
today, like even Christine said something about like your sweater, being like, this sweater really pops.
Oh,
it's
thank
like,
you.
So I mean, I understand like we all struggle with self-image, but like if it means anything, you always turn a look. And also on Instagram too, like you posting your Insta stories at work. I feel like I'd be trying. I used to do that at work. I'd be post like stuff on Instagram and like Insta stories about my work outfits, but then I started to get lazy. But like you were like, Fritz, you posted this like all pink thing with like a pink coat like not too long ago, and I was like, you better work. You better work. Oh my gosh. Okay, so before we close out this podcast, we have our weekly segment that we do. Say it with me, Josh. titled
What
the heck? So it's a segment where we just drag straight people, heterosexual people, for what they've done to us this week. Josh, would you like to start?
I don't think
this
I have
week
one.
or in general?
I can't think of straight people doing bad things to me.
Oh, wow. So you're an ally now.
That's so rare.
That's what you're saying.
Yeah, I don't go out much, so
Okay.
there's no straight people around me.
Well, I can say something that have happened.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, I work retail.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember, so our boss this week was out sick. And this woman came in, a Karen-esque style woman, business in the front, after party in the back. And she was mad about a return that she had to make online for her husband. This is how I know she was hetero. And she came in already ready with an attitude, ready to fight. Mm-hmm. And so then she was like, I need to make a return, et cetera, et cetera. I was like, okay, cool, that works. Like, I'll take care of you. And then it was like past due, et cetera. I was gonna like let it go anyway because I don't care about my job. It is what it is. Don't listen to this. Everyone at work. And so immediately she said, "Who can I need to speak to the manager?" And I was the manager on duty, so I said, I was like, "Oh yeah, I am the manager."
It's like that one meme. Let me get him.
I know. Yeah, I was like, "We're right back." Do a little spin, and it was me.
Reveal.
And then she looks at me and she was like, "You're the manager?"
Oh.
And I was like, why does that shock you? You have a husband? Who would want to deal with you? Like, what? Like, with this attitude? And so that really annoyed me because it was a microaggression because I don't think she would have said something if I was white. And two, I don't understand. I mean, this is the holiday season, but y'all should know better coming in here doing that shit.
Yeah.
So we said 30 days. So you got 30 seconds to leave. So that's my, I just want to voice that.
I can relate to that actually. Like I used to work retail at Kohl's, and so I did customer service every now and then. Mm-hmm. And there was like a lot of like just annoying ass people, and like it was like towards like almost the suburbs pretty much. So like it was like even worse, So very much that vibe, but worse because they're from the suburbs. So
yeah, I'm sure they get mad about that Kohl's cash, bitch.
They really do.
Sure they would.
That's better than like real cash to them.
I guess so. Cassidy.
Okay, so I did the most heterosexual thing possible this morning, and I went to the Christkindlmarkt.
Wait, the what?
The Christkindlmarkt.
Yeah, that thing. It's at Wrigley, right?
No, there's one at Wrigley. There's one downtown. It's like a little Christmas market. It's very German. It's very hetero. It's like all of the families go and they get drunk for like $50 on one cup of Glühwein and like all kinds of stuff. It's so German.
Okay.
It's so German. But I waited in line for fucking gingerbread in this little place called the Sweets Castle for like 20 minutes. And this very annoying older woman and her husband cut me in line. And that is... I've had a good week because that's the worst thing that a heterosexual person has done to me this week, but I will say it really set me off. And I was like, here in this Christmas market, you're going to set me off right now. I will go full fucking naughty list on you.
Period. Not in the season of giving.
In a heartbeat. Yeah.
I'm so sorry to hear that. Well, at least that's the worst thing that's happened.
It's true. It's true.
How was the gingerbread at least? Was it good? Was
was it
worth getting cut?
Was it was it worth that spot behind?
It wasn't worth me almost cutting her, but it was pretty good. It was pretty good.
You heard it here, folks.
Yeah.
Don't cut her in line because they will cut you.
Mm-hmm. It's
exactly.
True. It's true.
Well, thank you so much, Cassidy, for
Thanks so much for
thank
having
you.
me. Y'all are
And-
so much fun. I
Yeah,
appreciate the
thank you.
time.
You're so fun. Do you want to let the listeners know anything that's going on, your social media, things that you want to plug?
Sure. So I'm Heavenly Grandpa on all social medias. I have a show at the lovely Lincoln Lodge. It is the third Saturday of every month. It's called the Laugh Yard. You've been on it a couple
I
times.
have been on it a couple of times.
I've seen the
honestly.
flyer a couple of times.
Oh, wow. We'll work you in.
I've done the layout. Sorry, to interrupt. Honestly, y'all, the Laugh Yard is such a good show. Every single time I've done it, it's so
looks
funny.
cute.
I remember we did it in your backyard originally, and now it's here at the lovely Lincoln Lodge. So definitely come to the show. It's always a fun lineup.
And then I have a huge show happening on January 5th. Will this be out by then? Should I plug it?
This will probably come out after that.
Okay,
Just like a week after.
I will have had a huge show on January 5th when you're listening to this. And just so you know, it's going to be the greatest comedy event of the year. And if you missed it, I'm so sorry.
But you're gonna have so much more in the year.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
definitely check them out on Instagram. Follow them on all social medias, and don't forget to follow us on social medias as well. Follow me, Sean Banks, at Banksy on Instagram. BANK 2Zs 3Ys.
And follow me, Josh Ham, at the Josh Ham, if you have good taste on Instagram.
Yeah, and if you have terrible taste, follow us on the Don't Be Gay podcast, Instagram, and TikTok, where, you know, we have no taste and plenty of White Claws. Oh, my gosh. And also, don't forget to follow the Lincoln Lodge at the Lincoln Lodge on Instagram. And do y'all have a Facebook? Do you have a Facebook or Twitter?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So follow the Lincoln Lodge on all social medias, Facebook and Twitter. And again, as we always say, remember, don't be gay. All right. Thank you, everybody, for listening. Goodbye.
Bye.
Don't be gay. 1 hour later.
1 hour later. Don't be gay.
Oh, yeah.
Don't be gay. You heard us. Don't